female uptown or downtown, some part of DC, right, shoots another female, right? She shoots the female, and then after shooting the female lived. She attempts to try to break into someone's home. Police is called. They arrive. The female with the gun is in a security uniform, posing as a security guard.
Wait.
See, I left that part out, didn't I?
She had on a security uniform?
Yeah, she had a security uniform on.
Did she work in security?
No. So look, police get there. They ask her multiple times to put the gun down, right? We find out after the fact that the gun didn't have any bullets because she used them all, right?
So she emptied a clip on somebody?
No, I don't think the clip was ever full.
Where did she get the... She done stole a uniform and a gun?
Yeah, she stole a uniform.
Okay, so what happened?
She stole a uniform and a gun. Police arrive, right? They asked her multiple times. The police suited and booted. They know what they're getting themselves into. They asked her multiple times to put the gun down. Instead of her putting the gun down, she say to them, "No, you put your gun down."
Bow, the bitch did. She got shot. She did.
Yeah, she did.
My bad.
Yeah, so
but
look,
that was to be expected out of that.
I think, like, no, we ain't about to talk about Black Lives Matter.
That ain't got nothing to do with Black Lives. That was just stupidity.
This is just a common sense thing. Like,
common sense ain't common, so that was just stupidity.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have, yeah. But after the fact, you know, we kind of want to show grace to the family, because I think in certain situations, right, when you lose a family member, it's never easy. But then there's reports that they supposedly told dispatch that she's suffering from some sort of mental health. She has a little bit of mental health problems, right? And X, Y, and Z. So what you think about that?
Okay. So the young lady that did the shooting, that's now deceased, condolences, had mental health issues. So the person that called 911 knew she had mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they go citizen harass, whatever, or even be a support system to help her if you knew she had mental health issues before law enforcement got there? Because the main thing was going to be law enforcement gets there, she's black, she's got a gun, they automatically going to assume the police is out to kill her. Whereas the community could have saved her.
Yeah. So look, let me give you a brief rundown. I want to be accurate now because we still want to show grace to the family. Like I said, losing a family member is never easy. So DC police was first called to the 2900 block of 14th Street, Northwest, Uptown. Multiple reports of an employee experiencing a mental health crisis.
So she was at work?
No.
It's an employee?
At 5:06 a.m. This happened on April 23rd, right? Said, I'm not going to get a person's name, and I'm not going to say any more about where they live at. Says, oh, guess she was an employee. It said she says they described her as a well-liked front desk employee of the building. The residents said that when he got home on Saturday morning, Graham appeared to be distraught and fearful.
So she was already having a crowd for help.
She fled through the back door as her fellow employees tried to intervene. Oh. He said she got into her car in the parking lot and drove away fast as police and the ambulance arrived. Less than a half an hour later, police saw her in the 800 block, and where they believe she shot and wounded a neighbor. Okay, so
yeah, she was having an issue.
So essentially, this is an updated report because the first report I saw said she was in a security uniform that did not belong to her. So here it says She was a concierge for a security company responsible for dispatching special police officers. So she was a dispatch.
Yeah, and that is why in security or any job of any type of law enforcement, unarmed or armed, they should always have counseling. Because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what somebody's intentions are. If you check on your people, that's all it is. Check on your people. Even your strongest have days. So just check on your people, because that's very unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Because if the resident was able to notice that she wasn't herself, then it was very clear that something was wrong. And if she's well liked, they know how she is. They know her demeanor, how she navigates. And to see that, apparently, they knew it was something disturbing. So it is very unfortunate. And like I said, anybody in any type of job, period, you need to check on your mental. Because stuff can happen. And nobody ever knows what's really going on with somebody.
Yeah, they said when the police arrived, she was waving a gun and smashing windows when they arrived. They said officers tried for several minutes to ask her to drop the gun on the ground, but she didn't comply.
Okay, so with situations like that, right? She was waving around. Y'all saw her smashing windows. Y'all tried to get her comply. Nobody thought about tasing her. I understand at the end of the day, in these positions, the main goal is to get back home safe to your family or whoever and to do your job. But also, when you are in a situation when you have the opportunity to try to talk someone down, there are other avenues when things come into play of, okay, let's strategize. Yeah, she got a gun. Maybe all of us shouldn't have guns drawn. Maybe 2 of us, and it's 5 of us, whatever. Somebody else, navigate. Let's tase, however. But if you clearly can see that it's a mental health crisis going on, that's my only thing when it comes to the differences of when somebody is just reckless and being an ass with a weapon, and when somebody's really having a mental health crisis. And people, just because you're in a field of law enforcement or any kind of field, nobody ever stops to really think about those that suffer from mental health. Like, they're not human. And that's my biggest thing when it comes to the violence or different things, because when that chemical imbalance happens, they don't really register it until after the fact. Even when it's about to start, they do signs for a cry for help, but if nobody is right there to help, things always seems to go left, and it's very unfortunate when they lose their lives for people who aren't educated to deal with the mental health. And that needs to be put into more training, especially with officers and things like that, to know when they're coming across someone who has a mental health issue and how they can actually help them. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see if she's waving a gun, but if she didn't say, no, y'all put y'all gun down, and if she's like this with it, you could have tased her. Real loud. Because if she just shine the air, but if she like this, yeah, it's me or you, basically. But if she just waving it, they could have did some better preventative measures.
No, they couldn't. You're not gonna tell me to do no preventive measures if it's me coming home versus her living.
But if you was able to say,
put yourself in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. If you was able to say, hey, put the weapon down, and you say she's waving it, you didn't say it was aimed at you, You could have shot a taser versus a bullet. Right or wrong?
Yeah, that's
okay.
true.
That's what I'm saying. But if she did like this, yeah, it's me or you.
All right, let's finish the story so we can get to that. It says the officers tried to talk her down for about a minute. They already gave her a pass because they gave her 2 minutes. They said you have seconds in between your life or the person that's causing you harm.
Right. So you could have tased her.
Okay. Police then fired, killing her. Police wore bulletproof vests and body camera that was obtained at her workplace the time of the shooting, along with special police officer uniform showing a name that was not hers. So she had a uniform on with someone's name on the uniform that didn't belong to her.
But the situation at hand is all about someone that because of X, Y, and Z. At this point, we're not the ones that know all the details for real, other than what they have in black and white. But what actually happened is what happened. The biggest thing is, what are the preventative measures for law enforcement when dealing with somebody with clearly mental health issues? It's not about right or wrong in the situation. It's what do you do? Do you have the proper training? Are you just scared? You're an officer and shouldn't be an officer. You got into it because you just felt like, if I got a gun, I'm gung-ho. But once you drop that gun, you're a bitch. So at the end of the day, if you had a minute to say, put your gun down, that's a long 60 seconds. Somebody could have tased her. Or, better yet, shoot to not kill. Why is it that it's always convenient that the black person,
oh no,
yes, gets shot and killed, but the white motherfucker with a machete and shit and an AK or whatever can walk right past you?
you're changing the narrative of this topic.
Alright, next topic, because we ain't getting over with this one.
You're making it about race.
Bye.
I'm telling you, if you was to put your feet in the shoes of that family member, that officer who had to choose whether he was going to make it home to his kids, right, or show grace in a situation where his credibility as a man isn't in question, his training is. You just said he's a bitch. Like, what makes in this situation whether he's a B or not?
I didn't say him.
No, I'm just saying you used examples that didn't have nothing to do with this. This situation, particularly this situation only, was about life or death. Who was gonna make it home? So you show grace without knowing whether the gun was loaded. How many people around her could have lost their life if they just sat there and said, let's taser. Let's say the taser don't work.
Wow, your tasers never seem to work, but the gun do. Next topic.
What you getting frustrated for? How you getting frustrated? How you getting frustrated? Ain't nobody in your family ever been killed by an officer.
You don't know that.
I should know that though. I've been with you since I was 17.
I need 14. All right. Next topic.
You don't choose to switch the topic.
If I'm supposed to be a regular lawyer,
I sat there and allowed you to speak your piece, and I literally didn't say anything. I just let you talk. I understand where you coming from. You can't just say next topic because you got your point across and you don't want to hear mine.
Getting a point.
No, you did. You got frustrated at your own opinion.
That this topic ain't going nowhere.
What you mean? We having a podcast. We having a podcast conversation.
To disagree.
You don't decide that. I still have to have my opinion.
Yeah.
But now, next topic.
That's all my answers. You can say your opinion and say.
Jesus Christ. Because I promise you, if I've heard your reaction to stuff that I've been into before. I promise you, if my feet was in them shoes, you wouldn't feel that way.
What you mean? If you was what, the officer or her?
If I was the officer and it was me or her.
Like I said, we don't know
if I was the officer and it was me and her, how would you react to it?
How would I react? The same way.
Okay.
Because I know how you are.
Okay, so just take away me knowing how to talk to people.
Okay.
And just put me in a situation where I have to use my training.
Okay.
And the training says
shoot
if there's
first
an
and then give you
if it's an intimate threat, neutralize the threat.
Okay.
And I'm using their lingo. That's what they teach. Let me tell you this. I do agree. I think there needs to be a unit that specializes in, because there's a unit for everything. But it's all about the funding. Like I say, it's deeper than just saying, oh man, they need to do more training or they need to do this. All these things cost money. So like if they remember, they trying to defund the police. So now you got to find the funding to be able to provide these trainings. Like you said, common sense ain't common. That the story says a minute, but it could have been longer than a minute. Them trying to get that gun out of her hand or trying to tell her to put the gun down.
But nobody. Why do they have tasers if they never use them? Except, you know what? Comment to myself.
Why is it the responsibility of the police to love a family member when it's the responsibility of the family member? You just said check on your people. We constantly talk about that.
Right. I'm just saying when in situations, period, dealing with the police, the taser is never an option. Yeah. Unless they're what?
Babe, why are you yelling at me? What's going on? I told y'all, man, she be tripping, man.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're
you like, think about all the scenarios that have happened, and you weigh out officers encountering an African American, a Latino, anybody that's not Caucasian, and the way they treat them compared to the Caucasians, it's mighty funny that they have better approaches and training tactics to deal with them versus the others. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Because I encountered a situation on Sunday when I was dealing with Becky with the blonde hair. And Becky called the police and attempted to press charges on me. And if I was approaching her in the demeanor that she approached the officer, they'd have had me on the ground in handcuffs.
You wouldn't even been made it to the ground in handcuffs. You'd have been shot.
That's true. I don't know if I would have been shot, but
they'd have saw your big ass flip it out or whatever like that.
They would have lost their cool on me. They wouldn't allow me. I'd have been in handcuffs. I know that much.
Neutralize the threat.
Yeah, I'd have been in handcuffs because they showed her a lot of grace.
And that's what I'm saying.
Versus the grace I probably would have been shown if I was the aggressor in that situation.